about nothing the whole time. So look, let's check this out. Let's go ahead. We're going to do the question of the day. Before we do that, I got a couple more shout outs I got to do. Mr. and Mrs. Virgil Harris celebrated 10 years of marriage. So I want to say happy anniversary to Virgil and Sakina Harris. Happy anniversary to you guys. I got to give a huge shout out to Hector King. Yes, we are related. Happy birthday to you, cuz. Hector King, happy birthday. And another shout out to Liz White. So Liz White is one of my Sans wife. So happy birthday to you, Liz. You guys check her out at www.lovinglifewithliz.com. That's lovinglifewithliz.com. You guys check her out, Liz White. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the question of the day. So, question of the day is brought to you by Cute as a Cupcake, Cupcakery and Bake Shop, where the cupcakes are more than just cute. They're delicious. Cute as a Cupcake is located at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana. Get by Cute as a Cupcake and let them know that the 800 credit score man sent you. If you guys do not follow Cute as a Cupcake on Instagram, you are missing out on some delicious looking cupcakes. I think it's Cute as a Cupcake 3. I think that's what it is on Instagram. You guys get to Instagram and check out Cute as a Cupcake. So, let's get to this question. So this question actually comes from Jerry. Jerry is out of the great state of, where did it say? He's out of Virginia. So this is Jerry, a guy Jerry, and he's out of the great state of Virginia. So Jerry asks, so if you have people that are calling you about a collection and you do not know what it is, what are you supposed to do about it? So, if you have people calling you for a collection and you have no idea what to do about it, what are you supposed to do? Well, look, Jerry, if somebody's calling you about a collection, if you have information, if they don't leave enough information for you when they call, I'm assuming that you're not answering the phone. That's what I'm assuming first. You got a voicemail message or whatever. So if you're answering the phone, and if you're not answering the phone, you get a voicemail message, and you have no idea who they are. One, I wouldn't necessarily call them back. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily call them back. If they're calling you, they haven't gotten a hold of you, oftentimes then they'll send you a letter, right? They'll send you a letter. You get a letter in the mail, then of course you know who everybody is. You'll be able to respond in kind. If you don't think that you have a collection, then that's something you need to look at. However, like I mentioned in the first part of the show, I mentioned about checking your credit report, because since there was an Equifax hack, and it didn't even have to be the Equifax hack. It could just be a random everyday hacker or somebody you left your credit card laying somewhere, whatever, they got your number, and you may have some accounts out there somewhere and you're not aware of it. So it would behoove you to go ahead and answer the phone or get some kind of contact with them so you can check. But before you do any of those things, somebody saying they sent you 2 collections and you're not aware of any of those collections, check your credit report. So just like at the beginning of the show or the other half of the show, check your credit report. Doesn't matter where you check it, but go and check your credit report. In your credit report, you want to look for, in all of your accounts, you want to look and see what's your status. Is your status say current? Is the status say you're behind? And it'll say like 30 to 60 days or 60 to 90 days or what have you. Check your status on all of those things. You want to check your accounts. You can check your accounts and look and see if there's anything new. If there's any new accounts that you haven't signed up for yourself, you can do that. And then you can also, and this is one of the places you need to go, maybe you need to go first, you can check your inquiries. So go to your inquiries and check and see if anybody has applied for credit in your name. They've used the FICO system, they've went through TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian. It's going to be in those inquiries. So you need to go there. If you've got a newer inquiry, a brand new inquiry, or even if it's a month old, it's a place you don't recognize, then that's when you really need to start doing some investigation. So you definitely want to do the whole inquiry thing, make sure that it's not there. And you want to check your collections, since they're calling about a collection. Collections don't happen overnight. So just because you were 30 days late on, some account, it's not going to show up on your credit report as a collection necessarily right away. So you want to make sure you go to the collections portion and you look and see if you have any new collections, if you have any at all, if you have any new collections and where they come from and all of those things. When you do that, far as the collection, if you do find one, and if you can verify that it kind of adds up to what they're talking about, then if you want to, you go ahead, you give them a call so you can, you can take care of whatever the collection is. So make sure you do that. You've got to check those places on your credit report to make sure that nothing new has popped up, because quite frankly, it could not be yours. Somebody could have stolen your identity. If they stole your identity and they went out and got a new credit card 5-6 months ago, now it's finally showing up on your credit report. It's finally started to impact you. Somebody has done some investigation. They got your real number, so they've now calling you. Those are the kinds of things that happen. And so to protect yourself, make sure you go check your credit report. So Jerry from Virginia, thank you so very much. I appreciate you giving me a call. Not a call, but thank you for contacting me, sending me an email. That email address for you to send in your questions is 800creditscoreman@gmail.com. You too can become a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. And so Jerry, you are officially a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. Thank you so very much. All right, so let's jump back into the show. But before I do, I got to give a shout out to Patrick Terry Sr. He celebrated a birthday as well, so happy birthday, Patrick Terry. I got to give a shout out to one of my sons, Andre Horton, DDS. Yes, Dr. Andre Horton, happy birthday to you, Andre. And I want to give a shout out to Rodney Robinson, another one of my frat brothers. So a lot of KSI on the board this week. So happy birthday to you, Rodney Robinson, as well. So let's jump back into some of these do's and some of the don'ts. So what did we talk about before? We talked about letting things go to collections. We talked about running out and just getting a bunch of accounts. We talked about those things, how not to do that. Don't run out and get an account. Talked about absolutely go ahead and check your credit report. Here's something else that you want to do. You want to make sure that you pay down any of your credit card debt. And before you even do that, before you even get to paying down your credit card debt, it's like, what does that have to do with my credit score? It has a lot to do with your credit score. 30% of your credit score is made up off of your debt utilization. I'm not going to go through that again today. So it's made up off of your debt utilization. It's the second highest. It's the second highest factor in calculating your credit score. So you want to make sure that your debt utilization percentage, that percentage, is down to 30% or less. But before you even get there, your mindset needs to change, especially if you're new to credit, you're starting out, or you had credit back in the day. Now you're finna get some more credit because you think you got it together on your credit cards. You need to change your mindset. If you have $1,000 limit, you contacted XYZ company, they gave you a credit card, gave you $1,000. That does not mean spend $990. That's not what that is what they want you to do, is to spend $990. But I'm telling you, don't do that. You need to change your mindset to stay within that 30% debt utilization threshold. You can only spend 30% of that $1,000. For those of you that are not good with math out there, that's $300. So you need to change your mindset. Even though they gave it to you, just because they gave it to you doesn't mean that you got to use it. So that $1,000, you need to change your mindset. You see 1,000, that means, okay, I can't spend over $300. So you know that in your head, I can only spend $300 off of this particular card. Now, if $300 isn't good enough for you and you got decent enough credit, hey, call XYZ company up and say, hey, this $1,000 just not gonna cut it. I can spend $1,000 in a day, so I need you to raise my limit. Now, if they raise your limit, say they doubled it. They raised it $2,000. Same mindset, only 30%. You're only gonna spend 30% of whatever the limit is on that card. So 30% of that is going to be $600. So now you got $600 to spend, and that's so you can stay within this particular threshold to get the most points for your credit report and your credit score. Now, I don't want you guys out there busting your butt, going crazy about your credit your credit score. Every time you see it dip down 14 points, then you feel a little anxious about those things. That's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It only really, 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 really matters. Your credit report, your credit score only really, really, really matters when you're making big moves. And when I say big moves, I'm talking about if you're going to buy a house, then it really, really matters. This is probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make in your life. It's really, really going to matter. You want your credit score to be as high as possible so you can get the best interest rate possible. You want it to be there. It really, really, really matters if you're going to buy a vehicle. Now, the other day I was on a Chevy lot because I was getting my Chevy service, getting the oil change, and I was checking out the Tahoe or whatever. And I want to say it was like $85,000. That would really, really, really matter if I'm getting a 10% rate versus getting a 1% rate. If I was going to buy an $85,000 vehicle, it's going to make a huge difference to what my payment is and everything. And actually, when you think about it, if you have the lower interest rates, or if you have, let's put it this way, if you have the higher end, or you're on the higher spectrum of those interest rates, then when you want to turn in your car, you haven't paid as much off. So not only did you get hit because you paid so much interest because you had a higher interest rate than the next man next to you or the next woman next to you, you also get hurt if you need to trade it in. Or let's say you get in an accident, you don't have gap insurance. Gap insurance is the difference between what your car is worth and what you actually owe. If you have gap insurance, then the insurance will take care of that and you won't be liable for it. So if you are in that kind of mode right there, not only did you get hit because you had to pay a higher interest rate, if you had trouble being financed, your salesman knows that you're having issues because you walked in the door with your head hang low, and they can tell, oh, this person is in here hoping, wishing, and praying that they're going to get approved. If you're in that particular mode, then they can take advantage of you. They can say, okay, well, I can sell them this car and I don't have to take as much money off. So you're getting hit negatively in all of these ways because you have a low credit score. So with that low credit score, you pay a higher interest rate, and then the value of your car, Blue Book value of your car, if you need to trade it in or anything of that nature, it's going to be, the gap is going to be bigger. Blue Book value is not going to match what you want for the car, and you might have to pay additional money, and then the cycle continues. The cycle goes on and on and on, and you find yourself in that trap. So make sure that you follow, along with what we're talking about today. I got another shout out to get because it's getting close to the end of the show. I can't believe it already. So I got to give a shout out to Philip Davenport. So Philip Davenport the second. Philip Davenport II, happy birthday to you, my brother. And this man can make anything. I think he made a humidor in the closet in his house. Now he's building a theater or something like that in the basement. I can't wait to go to his house or to see what his next project is. He must spend a lot of time watching HGTV. So happy birthday to you, Philip Davenport II. All right, so let me give you just one more thing that I want you to do when it comes to you. Something I actually don't want you to do. I don't want you to go out and apply for credit any and everywhere. So inquiries are 10% of your credit report. You can't go out and just apply anywhere and everywhere like we talked about at the top of the show. You can't just go out and get a bunch of cars all at one time trying to move your credit score fast and get a better credit score. It doesn't really work that way. But even if you're doing it over time, credit bureaus count 6 inquiries as too many. So if you have 6 inquiries, that's too many as far as they're concerned. So if you're one of these people that have 20, 25 inquiries, then it's an issue. Here's where it isn't an issue, of course. When you buy a home or you buy a car, you get about a 14-day window. I hate to tell you guys this, but the newer models actually give you a 30-day window. So the newer credit scoring model, so like FICO 9, like you have an iPhone 8, 9, whatever. FICO 9 gives you 30 days, but not every lender or institution is working off of the FICO 9. So don't take the 30-day threshold, but the 14-day threshold, which is the old one. So within 14 days, only if you're buying a car or if you're buying a home looking for a mortgage, can you get your credit ran several times and it only counts against you one time. Each and every inquiry can hurt you from 2 to 10 points. Just kind of depends on what's going on, what you're looking for. So Do not go out there getting a whole bunch of inquiries and applying for credit all willy-nilly. I told the story before that I got my JCPenney card, my first card, simply because they were giving away peanut M&Ms. Filled out that credit application. They gave me a card and a $300 limit or $100